Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone had a great week. I know it's been a stressful time of highs and lows, and this past week, the energies were definitely pinging everyone pretty intensely. Whether you were experiencing things on the spectrum of negative, positive, or a combination of the two polarities, more than likely you were feeling things on a physical level more than usual. Perhaps you had bouts of headaches, maybe some body aches, stomach aches, nausea, dizziness, fatigue, anxiety with pressure on the chest and or heart palpitations, restlessness, maybe some sleepless nights, sleeping a lot, maybe feeling lazy, lethargic, and possibly other forms of illness, disease, and in extreme cases, death of a loved one or an acquaintance. So I feel like it was more physical in nature. Yes, there was emotional stuff, but if you were emotional, I feel like it was really coming through strongly physically in the body. So, as you know, over the last few weeks, I've been sharing some different perspectives about what I've been calling the spiritual war, which really is just about the ascension or transformation of duality that we're all going through, the game of good and evil, judgment and punishment that we've been playing out here in this reality with ourselves is in order to work out our own polarities and miscreations. That's coming to an end with each passing moment and each passing day. So, you'll see that continuing to happen. And this week, I won't be doing a separate video to give just to give everyone a little break, give myself a little break to process last week's material from the 4.5-hour series that I shared with you. I'll resume with part 6 next week with some new material going deeper into what is happening and some more truths of things you may not have considered. Last week, I discussed an unusual video that I captured on my Ring camera of, I don't know, a ghost, an anomaly, alien, maybe it was just an animal, a bird, I don't know. I'll let you decide. I did share this on my YouTube channel, but had a few requests to share it live here as well. So I'll be sharing that video at the end of the show, as long as I don't ramble too much. If I ramble too much, if I'm talking too much and I go over, just check out my YouTube channel and the video is there. Okay, let's get into this week's intuitive messages. Here's what you can expect from today, September 22nd through to September 29th as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. General themes. We have some more energies at play that could cause some doubts around love, money, and yourself. These energies could cause an intense emotional feeling to arise in those specific areas. You will also begin to experience an increase in putting more attention on these areas of your life because things will be revealed to you that need healing, they need changing, and they need growing. So there are things that you need to move past, and those are going to be coming up into your awareness. You'll be taking some action or at least contemplating steps to take once you become aware of what the problem is, of what's not working for you any longer. And remember, that requires you taking responsibility for your actions and choices in these areas that got you to where you are right now that you may not be happy about or you may not be thriving in, or maybe there's been changes that have been rolling around in your head that you've been wanting to make, but fear has been blocking you. You haven't taken any action steps towards it. So maybe now you become more aware of it and you will end up taking those steps. My advice is feel what you need, realize what you need, and then release it and allow it to strengthen you as you move forward in new ways. This week, you may become triggered by someone who exhibits some narcissistic behavior, or maybe this person is a full-blown narcissist, or it's someone who just sees themselves as someone who's wiser, older, more mature, lived a little longer than you. Either way, whoever it is that shows up in your life in this way is going to be dismissing anything that you verbally express about your ideas, your goals, your feelings, or anything else that you might be verbalizing out loud or communicating. This person may just dismiss you. Be aware that you could be that person yourself towards others, right? So you could be exhibiting this sort of behavior and making someone else feel triggered in that way. And you may also be doing this to yourself by blocking yourself or self-sabotaging through your own internal dialogue, your own beliefs, fears, and insecurities. So you could be projecting this onto yourself as well if you're not aware of what's going on with you. And as always, because this reality is a mirror projection of everything happening inside of you and inside of others, more than likely you will experience a combination of all three of those versions playing out in some way. Also, if you become triggered, you may emotionally react by trying to dominate, dismiss, or attack the person. Don't stoop to their level, right? Just be aware of what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Really, awareness is the name of the game here. Becoming aware of yourself. That is how you begin to live a much happier life. It's becoming aware of yourself, taking responsibility for yourself, all of those things, acknowledgement, acceptance, changing things, is all going to help you improve your life because you're no longer going to allow people to trigger you. Depending on your situations and experiences that you need to have in your life, some of you may have conflicts this week in relationships. It could be any type, like with your bestie, an acquaintance, a romantic partner, a sibling, a coworker, a parent, or any other type of relationship that exists. But at the same time that you're clashing with one type of relationship, you will be trauma bonding with another type of relationship by fighting the same cause, where you might feel victimized by something, or maybe you feel victimized by someone else that has attacked you or the person that you're, trauma bonding with. So basically, this is you guys teaming up as victims, which can suck you into intense victim consciousness. It's going to be important to become aware if that happens. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of this week, and if not longer, feeling scared, feeling miserable, and maybe even beating yourself up over things that you can't control. So it's really about recognizing when you're putting out the energy of feeling like a victim. That's, again, we create our reality. The way this system is designed, we are the ones doing everything. And we're basically having to reconcile our negative aspects, our shadow sides of ourselves. We're also going to start experiencing the energies of Mercury retrograde. So there may be changes in plans, things from the past coming up to be looked at and resolved, and possible confusion in different areas of your life. We also have Saturn and Jupiter moving direct in Capricorn, which will bring up some karmic baggage and situations that brought you conflict earlier in the year. And obviously, we know earlier in the year, we started dealing with the virus and stuff. So this will also more than likely play out on the world stage with conflicts arising around the virus, protests, politics, weather, and any other structure and system that's going through a purification process or being exposed to help us unplug from this false matrix of duality, right? So lots of stuff is going to be coming up. And this is just kind of the beginning of year of this stuff to happen in a much bigger way. Stay grounded, stay fearless. There will be some aggressive energies that start to come into play this week. So again, we've talked about this in the past. Do not confront or get into altercations with people who are exhibiting extreme aggression or erratic behavior. You're not here to save anybody except for yourself. And it's not even about saving, it's about healing. So again, don't get into altercations right now. The energies are really volatile. And on a more minor level, expect some dramas to pop up. Again, just don't feed into the dramas or take things personally, right? And as we talked about so many times on this show, when you feel triggered, it's because you're believing whatever the person outside of you is saying or doing towards you. You either believe what they're saying is true, or you're accepting behavior in your life that you don't want to accept, but you do it because of the way you feel about yourself, and you're afraid to set boundaries. So, everything begins and ends with you. So really, take a look at when you're feeling triggered. It's just not worth it to get into fights with people. These dramas may pop up with people in your life where you need to set boundaries, right? You've got to set some boundaries because they keep crossing them and you keep letting them. So these dramas can also be connected to unexpected events to teach you how to master the unknown, along with becoming more solution-oriented instead of problem-focused. You'll also be seeing some positive manifestations of past lessons learned where you took action by working hard on yourself. Maybe you've been working very hard on some self-discipline, working very hard at making necessary changes in your life. You're learning to journey inward and check out inner space and really get to know yourself and figure out, what you're afraid of, what you like, what you don't like, what you love, what you don't love. I mean, it's just really, all of this is about learning yourself and getting to know yourself. So if you've been doing that, or whatever area that you've really kind of been working hard on, you're going to see some of this positive manifestations happening this week. Yeah, most of it right now has been a little doom and gloom, but if you look at it as doom and gloom, then that's how you're going to feel. But if you look at the doom and gloom as a positive thing that's actually helping you grow and heal and evolve as a person, you're not going to have that experience. You're going to be feeling excited. You're going to be feeling good. And you're going to be just taking solution steps, action-oriented solution steps based on what you need to be tackling in any given moment. Now, with this as well, many of you are in a completion cycle. So you'll be closing doors in order to open new ones. And, you might be thinking about what that is starting this week, or maybe you've already been thinking about it. And so you're taking more action steps this upcoming week and with the weeks to come. I've said this before, this year is kind of a stagnant year. It's more about a foundational year of cleansing and healing and growing and looking at ourselves, which is something we'll be doing our entire lives. But this is just a pivotal year in that. And there's not a lot of forward momentum happening. Now, for some of you, this could be a new beginning in one or more areas of your life, or maybe you're just starting something new in terms of work or on a personal level. Maybe you decide you're going to start working out, you're going to start eating better, you're maybe starting a new project or some creative ideas. You may also experiencing feeling more upbeat, optimistic, and hopeful about the future. You could be feeling also very healthy and energetic. So I feel like it's going to be less of a lethargic week and more of an upbeat, excited, high energy type situation. You may also see signs of improvement in the financial area of your life. So a lot of little sparks happening where you're either beginning to see some things moving, or either things are actually coming to fruition. So there's a lot of positive aspects. My perception is it's all positive. It's all positive, even when you're experiencing crappy situations. The end result is always growth and healing. Let's see. In the area of work, for those of you that are employed, I see some possible conflict and or drama from minor to major. It really, when I say minor to major, it depends on who you are. If you aren't actively working on yourself, or if the other person that you end up having this conflict with isn't very conscious of themselves or aware of themselves and become triggered easily, well, then that turns into a major explosive situation where people are yelling and screaming and arguing and becoming highly emotional, crying, whatever it is. And depending on if you're someone that isn't attracted to drama, tries not to put energy into that, well, then the situation will be more minor in nature. And some of you, again, are in completion cycles in this particular area of your life, which could lead to losing your job or you choosing to leave your job, while others need to complete a project or master something or potentially starting something new that's, basically a new set of responsibilities or maybe a new position within the organization that you currently work for. And those of you, like if you leave a job or you lose a job, again, just sometimes, not even sometimes, all the time, that's the universe actually doing you a favor. And it might seem a little scary, but ultimately, if you don't let it knock you down and you just, again, stay solution focused, you're probably going to end up in something way better than what you were in. Either that, or you end up in a little stepping stone situation where, again, it might be a little bit of a temporary situation where you're needing to learn some skills in order to get a better job. So, everything is happening for a reason, for a higher purpose, your highest good. Those of you that are looking for a job, again, some of you are in a completion cycle of being jobless, so you'll begin to start seeing much more progress, or at least more jobs that you're actually interested in pursuing. So it could be that kind of a completion cycle, or the completion cycle is completely, you're getting interviews, you're getting hired this week, or you're starting this week. So there's just a lot of positive energy that I feel around work right now. So please don't get discouraged. There's just so many businesses and employers that are shifting to the online situation. So, you might think that people aren't hiring, but they actually are. In the area of love, those of you that are in committed relationships and dating seriously, with these energies of purging and cleansing, some of you may have difficulties communicating this week, and let's face it, some of you have difficulties communicating, period. And communicating isn't just about talking, right? Like, we all know how to talk. All of us are great talkers. It's also about listening, but it's about learning how to express yourself clearly through I statements and taking ownership and responsibility for what you feel, for what you want, and being able to express that in a way without fear of rejection, without fear of criticism, without fear of judgment, right? You're in your confidence. You're expressing what you want. You're not dependent on that person outside of you, right? But at the same time, once you express that, then you have to give your partner the opportunity to process the information that you just shared with them and give them the opportunity to make the changes to show up in the way that you need, right? You have to give them the opportunity to change. That doesn't happen. You say it once, it doesn't just happen overnight. And most people are not good at communicating, so your partner more than likely isn't going to be like, you know what, I heard you, and I feel this, and I recognize my own issues and my own trauma, so I totally get. That's not going to happen. They're going to process the information. But if you see the changes, if you see the communication after a period of time, well, then you know that your communication style is working. Now, at the same time, I feel like it's very important that you be sure to ask what you can do to show up in the way that you need for your partner, right? Because blaming others for things you feel due to a lack of confidence or self-worth issues won't resolve anything for you or for them. And remember, they are just showing you how you really feel about yourself by what you accept in your life, and more than likely your partner feels the exact same way you do about themselves that you feel about yourself, and more than likely has the exact same grievances against you that you have against them. You guys are just expressing it in different ways, and you're too busy blaming each other instead of learning how to communicate openly and honestly with each other, right? You're getting defensive. So look hard at yourself and go deep within. There's also a message for some of you to look deeper at the meaning behind words. And meanwhile, those of you that are having just minor communication issues, I do feel like some of you are reconnecting and you're feeling more together, and there's an extra little oomph in the love department for you this week. Those of you looking for love, I do feel like new love can definitely start even during this pandemic. If you've been feeling discouraged, but put yourself out there, something new could start. It feels very promising. A message coming through strongly is give people a chance. And I've talked about this before. Nervousness and a lack of knowing how to communicate properly during first encounters, and hell, even after you've been in relationships, communication is always an issue. Look, it isn't a deal breaker. It takes time to truly get to know someone, okay? Too many people are quick to cut someone out of their life who may actually have great potential, while being quick to jump headfirst into a relationship with someone because they felt instant chemistry. Well, intense instant chemistry, 9 times out of 10, is trauma bonding and not actually a good thing. So think about how many of those relationships of yours that you started like that in the past that actually lasted. None. None of them did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be single. So just saying, get to know your baggage deeper by who you actually choose to be in relationships with. And maybe you need to change who you're picking and who you're choosing. And maybe that person is the one that you aren't having that instant chemistry with, and the one that you're actually judging and going down your list of no, no, no. And all that list of you going no, no, no is all the same issues you have with yourself that you do yourself. So really take a look. All right, sorry guys, jumping on your case there. Okay, finances. Some of you may be receiving some unwelcome news about finances. For some of you, the initial information may be wrong and clarity comes shortly after, while others may feel more flush and may be paying off some debt. Health. Most will be feeling pretty well and may even start some new health routines. And some of you may be seeking second opinions, while others may be having surgeries or going to the doctor over some concerns or routine checkups. Spirituality. You may feel good to explore something new with your spiritual journey. There's a caution with new spiritual teachers who talk a good game but aren't the real deal. Or you could meet one that comes across as very egotistical. Learn the difference between confidence and egotistical. That's important, because some people think that somebody that's confident is an egotistical person, when in reality they're just confident in themselves. And you think they're egotistical because you're not confident in yourself, right? So it's important that you learn the difference. So that wraps up the intuitive messages. So let me get into sharing really quickly the video that everybody wanted to see. So let me figure out what I'm doing. Hold on one sec. Am I still? Sorry, Dave, not yelling at you. Have all my caps on. Okay, all right, so let me get to the right spot here. I'm gonna make that big.
So here's the ring.
Okay, hold on. All right, Dave, if you can hear me, go ahead and hit that share button. And here we go.
Okay, so here's the ring footage of the being that I captured, whatever it is, and this is the original roll. Okay, so you saw that really quickly go by. Now I'm going to slow it down as much as I possibly could, and I'm zooming in so that you can get a closer view, and then we can talk about it once it pops up on the screen. So here you can see I zoom in, and then in just a few seconds you're going to see this little being pop up. To me, it looks, I don't know, it looks like some little being that could be wearing a suit of armor or something, a little reptilian. Then it looks like it turns into a human, then it turns into a bird, then it turns into like a light being and disappears. It's totally trippy. I have no idea. But like I said, it just in the middle of the night, set off my Ring camera all by itself as if it was leaving my home. And here I'm playing the video again, and now I'm going to zoom in even closer, and it'll be slowed down again so you can get a better view. And if you're watching it on your TV, you can kind of pause it, hit play, pause, play, like that, and it'll freeze frame it, and you can kind of see the transition even better. I'm not that good at video editing stuff, so boom, you see it there, then it looks like, oop, human, then it feels like it looks like it's flying away and turns into light and disappears. So here's a screen grab of it when it initially manifested. Like I said, it kind of looks like a little, I don't know, alien or something. I don't know. You tell me if you know what it is, or if your intuition is picking up on anything. It looks a little muscly. Maybe it has a body armor on or something. I don't know. It's trippy, but we'd love to hear your opinions. Thanks.
All right, guys. So I don't know if my screen is still sharing. Oh, you didn't see it? What? Oh. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll play it next week. I love you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.